Here's your host, Derek Larson.
Sorry about that.
Here's your host, Derek Larson, ladies and gentlemen. So, first thing, this is lesson 3, and it's time in our progression for Jessica and Derek who are here, and anybody who's not here but who's watching this later. It's important by the 3rd lesson. Get all the stuffed sheep off the floor where you're going to be working. So that goes for Legos, additional stuffed sheep, and miniature tennis balls. And a miniature stuffed sheep. So, building on what we've always done, rub our hands together, get a little heat going. So while we're recording this, it's 4:15 on the East Coast and the West Coast, 7:15 on the East Coast, which means we probably spent all day being on our heads. We're going to bring the heat down from our heads. But first, shake our hands. Right out this window. Yesterday, I was looking out the window and I saw these 2 dolphins do like the SeaWorld move that they do, just jumped in the air, completely synchronous, the same arc, and it was just so beautiful. And just look up and see that.
Wow. Nice message.
So now you just want to start to shake your body a little bit and then let your body do the shaking of your hands. So you're bouncing up and down on your big toe, little toe, and the middle of the ball of your foot to make that triangle. And your heel shouldn't touch any more than maybe hitting the raised letters on a credit card. That's about how far down your heel should go. So while you're sending heat down because your legs are slightly bent and you're sending heat to your thighs, your quads, you're already bringing heat down from up here to the lower part of your body. And by bouncing up and down your calves, you're pumping blood and spinal fluid back up to your brain. It's like delivering it instead of having to make it go pick it up. And get a little looser, you can swing a little back and forth a little bit. Go full ragdoll at some point if you want, or the guy in the cop in Pirates and Penzance. Now there's some days where if you do nothing else, but do this for 5 minutes, put on a song and just do this for 5 minutes. You're really going to feel invigorated at the end of it. And it's all natural, it's all in you. No way to hurt yourself doing it. There's no way to be, there's no level of athleticism you have to achieve to be able to stand and do this. If you have some kind of, handicap situation where you're physically challenged and can't do this, if you can sit in the chair and do this, even better, because almost all the exercises I'm going to show you can also be done seated. Okay, now go back and do your hands real quick and then stop. See if they tingle a little bit. And now we're going to help that along even more. And curl your fingers down. Tuck your thumbs in and make a fist and squeeze the crap. Never let go of the amount of tension you have in these fists.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
We're going to do a little bit of our standing on a boat where when you raise your fist, you arch your back and get up on your toes. When you lower your fist, you tuck your pelvis and put your weight into your heels. Keep those fists really tight, squeeze it. Breathe in, breathe through your nose, put your tongue at the top, inside your top 2 teeth. Breathe out, drop your tongue, sink into your heels, and all the breathing is done through your nose. Keep squeezing those fists. 2 more. Top of this one, expand your chest as much as you can. Hold up there, hold, 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 and release. Your hands drift down. And shake them a little more. And tell me if they don't tingle now. The palm should be red, really, really hot pink right now. And so slap together a little bit. Watch out if you're wearing rings. And rub them. Your rib cage, your armpit, underneath your arm.
The 9 gates.
We did the 9 gates.
Oh, I was wondering if this what this was. I
I
wasn't-
just forgot to say that we were doing the 9 gates. So back when we were doing this, we were shaking the 9 gates. We'll go back to that for a second. For anybody that didn't watch the first 2 episodes, there are 9 gates where our energy is stored and can become stagnant. The ankles, the knees, hips, wrists, elbows, shoulders, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar spine. Those are all like junction points at the airport where all the gates come into one, and you want to keep things flowing through them. So what we were doing when we were doing this, that exercise is called shaking the 9 gates. Thank you, Jessica, because that's important. And what you're doing is you're just taking where all these crowds of people are, and you're making it circulating them so the crowd management can be handled. So there's no too much of anything in one part of your body. Everything's moving and fluid. So when we shake the 9 gates, the next thing we did after that, I went into this, we'll do this in a second. We're going to swing the dragon twisters. So keeping your feet parallel and really kind of pointed forward, not splayed out at all. And push up with your feet, and lift your hip. Your hip swings your arms. So I'm not doing this. I'm swinging them like you're twisting the trunk of a willow tree, using the willow branches. Try and look all the way around behind you, same spot every time. But not by turning your neck, by turning your weight and your shoulders, having your neck follow. You do this, just this, 109 times every day. You'll have no problem turning around to back the car out. This is the exercise that makes it so. When I first noticed that, I'm like, holy cow, this is no problem at all. So you can give it the ancient name of swinging the dragon's whiskers, or the modern name of not relying on your rear view mirror. Meridian breathing is next. So put your left hand on your liver, right on your rib cage, the right hand straight out. You want to bring visualization into this. Picture a green ball of energy, holding it in your hand like a giant green pearl. Passing all the way down through here, through your body, and into your left hand, sending green healing steam energy into your liver. And now you're going to imagine, you're going to do that again. This time, make a sound that sounded shh when you breathe out. So breathe in, breathe out. Shh. Hands out equally. This time, put your right hand on your heart. Picture a pink ball of energy, colored pink, coming into your left hand, circulating down into your body, through there, so that the pink healing energy goes into your heart. You're going to breathe in, and when you breathe out, you go ha. So breathe and shh. Pink. Breathe. Shh.
Oh, no.
So one of the cool things about this is that I'm not going to presume anything, but I'm going to say it's an easy bet that nobody woke up this morning thinking, I'm going to be putting a green ball of energy into my liver and a pink ball of energy into my heart. So you did something new today. We're going to bring down the heavens. Just imagine you're going up with a big scoop and you're bringing down every color, a ball of just swirling energy color down in front of your body. You're bringing down stars, you're bringing down magic, sacredness. Okay. Now we're going to stimulate our skin and meridians. Tapping, cupping over the top of your collarbone, down your rib cage, up the inside of your rib cage, your elbow. On the other hand, pushing. Oh. This is also the kind of thing when you talk about applying it to daily life. For those of us in California and southwestern states where water is really a problem, as long as you're in the shower for a short amount of time, do the soap like this. You're going to be working those meridians. Do the soap like that instead of just whatever you do. We were tapping, just take the same route and do that with the soap. You're just going to feel your body skin come alive. So rub your hands together. With that heat, massage your kidneys. And we're going to at the hips, like knees, ankles, inside the ankles, and knees. Take your thumbs and go down your breastbone. And then take the heel of your palm, start at the lower right, come up, here, over to the left, and down. Up, over, down, up, over, down. This is stimulating your digestive system. You're
Oh, I like this one.
from the same direction that your food is supposed to go. So we did those things. I'm going to do, we're going to learn 3 hand techniques, 3 things that absolutely, all it's required to do this. I know we're a diverse group at the Story Summit, but we each have 2 hands. And there's like 9 or 10 techniques. We're going to do the first 3. So the first one is just make a fist. It doesn't have to be a tight fist, just a fist, another fist. This is for relaxing your face. Just do this. Again, watching the water boil. You know, if you watch TV that has commercials in it, get up and turn the sound off, for God's sake. Get up and do this during the commercials. But this should help relax your face. Relax the muscles and relax the thoughts that go behind tightening your face. Just like 60 times, or the amount of time it takes to watch a couple of commercials. You'll be aware of how many commercials you watch and how much brainwashing is getting done these days. But you'll also be softening your facial muscles and the stress that makes them tighten up. Okay, shake that out. So this one, kind of make lotus hands, lotus flower, and you're just going to hit these 2 parts together. This is to strengthen and heal the heart.
Can I do this all day?
Sometimes we should do this all day. When you think of what makes our heart hurt and the things we do about it, standing here and doing this probably makes more sense than anything else that we do. You can't eat a bag of potato chips while you're doing this. You know, unless you have one of those, you know, automatic dispensers with somebody who can throw, but you still have to keep doing this. Okay, so we soften our face. We heal our heart. The last one for today is for headaches. And it's just taking that same lotus but going flat. And this part is going to hit this part. So you'll notice that we're all sort of doing it, that we're not just standing still while we're doing this. So I'm also going to talk about the figure 8 foot pattern. So you're swaying back and forth right now, but there's a way to do even that. So then everybody's headache just magically go away. And doesn't your heart feel better? Doesn't your face softer? Okay. So another thing to do just while you're standing there. We did standing on a boat where you're taking a small triangle, your big toe, little toe, in the center of the ball of your foot, grabbing it like a claw, leaning forward, arching your back, and then making a big toe, little toe, and heel, putting all the weight in your heels, keeping your back straight, and tuck your pelvis to achieve that straight line. Again, hard to do. So forward, arch your back a little bit, breathe out, and sink into your heel. Forward, arch your back, breathe out, sink into your heel. You breathe in through your nose, your tongue goes up behind your teeth. You breathe out, just drop your tongue, keep your mouth closed. In. This looks all gentle and everything, but when you get everything working in the right place, somebody could be standing here, and I could just push them just by doing that. I can all macho, it's just that's how the energy thing works. It's just energy and intention and where you put your center of gravity. It's enough to move a person. So even without the hand motions or anything, standing on a boat is pretty much just rocking back and forth from the ball of your foot to your heel. But doing it mindfully. Because when you're digging down those toes, you're doing your liver, your kidney acupressure point is the big one. Your big toe has kidney 1 on it, and it's like a huge nature acupressure point. And that's why nature put it in your big toe, because we're always using that, and it must mean that our kidneys need that kind of help every day. So a figure 8 pattern is just that. Put all the weight on the left top of your foot, the ball of your foot, and then shift all of your weight. So like energy is going to come up this way, and down, not all the way up and down. So just imagine all this energy coming here, going here, and into your back heel, your right heel. Push forward onto your right toe, back onto your left heel, forward onto your left toe, back onto your right heel. So you're really doing this. Back, forward, back. Not exaggerating it, but this is, again, forward. Somebody was standing here and I wanted to do martial Tai Chi. It's enough, it's a body check. So right toe, left heel, left toe, right heel, right toe, left heel. Just get that sense of rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Just sort of imagine. Sorry?
Isadora Duncan.
We're all becoming that. So you just want to imagine in slow motion, not aggressively, but a person behind you right here that you sort of have to nudge out of the way. Or just somebody's energy that you just want to kind of back away from that energy and push away that energy. A lot of us don't get out much, but when we do, there's a lot of energy around us. And just by subtly just sending that one back and this one forward. But then the next thing you can do with this is take your right hand, and like a scoop, scooping up. Now push off your left foot onto your right foot. Turn your waist. Just like you're dropping this out of your hand. Scoop. Now you're going to scoop yourself to the left. Turn your waist. Pick up. Push onto your right foot. Turn your waist. Turn your hand. Let go of the scoop. Coming up. The whole movement will look like this. And my feet are driving the whole thing. And so just imagine you're scooping up energy from the earth. You're taking up all the crap that built up in you all day, scooping it up and releasing it. Scooping it up. And releasing it. That's the medical part and the spiritual part. So we're visualizing and cleaning ourselves out of stagnant energy. The martial part is if you speed this up, what I'm doing here, if someone's coming this way, I just hit him with my hip, I hit him with my elbow, I hit him with my wrist, grab his arm, and push them down. So this is part of a move called a single whip, where it ends up like that. So you're scooping. Right now, we're not hurting anybody. We're just picking up energy, sending it out to the air, letting it disperse. And then now take the left hand, take the right hand out a little bit, take the left hand, scoop, and pushing off your right foot, all under your left heel, turn your waist. You're not turning your arm, you're turning your waist and your arm goes with it. Release, push off, push off. Keeping everything up you don't want, sending it back out where it could do some good. So like we don't want carbon dioxide, but the trees do, so we're just sending it out. It's not like anything negative that comes up in us that goes out. It's going to hurt anything else if we send it to the atmosphere. We have a move. Don't try this at home, but these were only half of the move. The other half is called cloud hands, the whole thing. And so you're kind of doing this, scooping and releasing at the same time. And again, what that's doing in a martial term is you're in between two people, boom, boom, and you're fighting them both. But for health reasons, you're stimulating all these acupressure points on your feet. These movements stretch certain meridians, which help the organs that they're associated to. You're breathing completely through your body and not just the top of your lungs. And it's every kind of healthy. But we'll work on cloud hands later on because it does get, it's supposed to be cloud hands, but in the beginning it's spaghetti hands. So we'll do that later. That was just a brief. So we did hand techniques. We did that. One standing technique. Get some water. Is just a standing pose. So put your feet about a little wider than shoulders. And sink mostly in, tuck your pelvis, sink mostly into your heels. And this is kind of weird. It's like we're going to do 6 points of opposition. So you're going to send head energy up while you're pushing down through your feet. So you're pushing up through your head, down with your feet. Then your hands are out. Put your hands out here. You're pushing forward with the back of your hands. At the same time as you're pushing back with your kidneys. So I'm going to exaggerate it, but it's like. So we're going up and down, forward and back, and then side to side. Imagine you're pushing, your elbows are pushing against the sides of the phone booth while your knees are squeezing a beach ball. I'm going to turn your knees in. You just want to get that pressure. So up and down, front and back, side to side. When you get this, first of all, if your thighs are starting to burn a little bit, this is perfect because if you're draining fire from your head and you're putting it in your waist where it belongs. Would you rather burn brain cells or fat cells? Let's just put it that way. And if your hands are this way, your fingers are sort of pointing to your heart. It's a heart posture. Picture a tree in here. So up, down. While you're doing this, we're going to do a thing called the inner smile, but first, just turn the corners of your mouth up a little bit while you do this. Sort of short circuits your body when it starts to say, hey, this hurts and I don't want to stand this way anymore. Just smile. But also there's a technique called the inner smile. And again, it's another way of getting out of our head where we've been all day long. So if you imagine, when we focus on something when we're angry, we get this thing here. We focus all our energy inward toward a point. You're arguing with someone. You're focusing all your energy in at a point. It's the opposite of expansive. So the inner smile is trying to imagine this opening up. Try and imagine your eyes looking so far that way that they're looking at a different ear. Try to imagine the corners of your mouth are already up and imagine them going even wider. Then just gradually imagine everything in you opening wider and wider and wider. Stand there, keep your thighs activated, keep your weight mostly in your heels. Your pelvis is tucked, elbows are lower. Yeah, nothing. Pushing out, pushing back, going up, going down, pushing out, pushing in. But expanding inside, just visualize that. And really, if you have to tap your temples to get this thing to unfocus, actually, when I remember this, like during arguments or during conflicts or a bad phone call or something, I just remember this part and just imagine this part opening up. I don't get focused and argumentative. It literally, expansive is expansive. So if you expand one thing, everything else comes with it. So that was the inner smile. We did that. So now let's just finish off with some. You feel a little heat, if you can imagine a ball of energy here. Standing on the bow, playing an accordion now with energy. Imagine like those taffy pools, just imagine that energy. You're pulling, you're bringing it in. Out. So the Taoists, the people who made this up, they really believe that energy is all around us, everything but visible. So you really are scooping bits in and out. So now you're just going to sort of gather it and bring it back into you. And gather the heavens. Bring down all that peace, all that grace. Next thing, if you're wearing glasses, you have to take them off, rub your hands together. A good amount of heat. Just place them over your eyes. And again. Loving the dog's having a good drink. Just lying there completely asleep, wagging her tail.
Yeah, my cat too.
And over your eyes. And big wide gather again. Bring in all the energy. Put your feet together. Bring the energy down. Hands over your core, your left hand. So your thumbs will be on your belly button, your fingers right below it. Close your eyes. Just let your body settle into the earth. Just be aware of all the weight and gravity going down into your feet, and notice if any part of either foot is like moving more of your weight. Just try and spread it out so that both feet every part of your foot's doing an equal part to hold you up. It's not any one place. I guess that's called find your foot. Okay, and then when you think about it, what you just did, it's so hard to do. It's not hard. None of this stuff is hard to do. What is hard is to remember when to do it.
Yeah.
In a case where you're getting a little overwhelmed, or just too many things have happened or whatever, if you just sort of stand there and become aware of, make sure that every part of your foot is touching the ground, you'll get grounded. And if you put your hands here, you just go like that, put your hands here and wait nobody notices. You're bringing energy into you, you're holding on to your own energy, you're staying grounded. Nobody has to see this or know that it's happening. But if you're in a situation where it's sort of getting out of hand and temperatures are going up, you can just ground, you can just sort of gradually do your figure eight standing, you're gradually standing on a boat. The main thing is don't get rigid. So all these things keep things flowing. Even when you're grounded, it's not rigid because you're constantly looking for that sweet spot that you're never going to find, but it's just the looking for it that calms you down. So we have a lot of opportunities every day to either calm, hey, there we go, to either calm down or not calm down. I'm voting for, let's use all the ways we can figure out how to calm down. And if you think back in your life, if you can come up with one time in your life when you made a decision out of anger and it was the right one, write in and let us know what the story's going to be. Because I don't think it's going to happen. All right, thank you for another class.
Thank you. Thank you.
Number 3, going to be traveling for the next week or 2 or 3, so I'll stay with Derek. And what my be really cool hope is to do a session at Derek's house in Pennsylvania, and maybe when I get to Deb and Bob Engel's house in Iowa, maybe we'll do a session there. We'll just be doing Tai Chi across a Tai Chi road trip.
Cool.
That's cool.
We'll see. Anyway, thanks a lot, and
Thank
thanks
you.
for spending the time to do this. I hope it was worth it.
It was.
Definitely worth it.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you very much. Thank you.